Alright, we are going to get started with Game 1 of DeadZone on Scrap Station as the blue Zerg and lefeu as the green Zerg. Looks like his overlord started going the wrong way before he realized he was on the top rather than on the right side of Scrap Station. This is probably, to me, the most interesting ZvZ map, primarily because of the ease of use of getting that early expansion, which is actually kind of hard to defend, but at the same time quite easy to fortify. And with the inclusion of these rocks here, and near the retail release, it makes holding that expansion a little bit easier, but a little bit more dangerous, because once they break these rocks down, you're in a little bit of trouble. The overlords will kind of pass each other. DeadZone's a little bit quicker on the draw, but not by much. And we do see that DeadZone did the extractor trick, which is kind of interesting. We do see lefeu already with his overlord, and getting his gas for real this time. So he's a little bit ahead on that. DeadZone now seemingly a supply ahead, but remember, that's only because he has gotten his opponent has gotten the gas a little bit earlier. But it looks like at this point we do have just a little bit of a difference here. lefeu being a little bit quicker on the draw, unfortunately not so quick as to get this extractor up and running. Looks like he's scouting his opponent, making sure that there's nothing quite wrong, and we do have a drone scout as well, perhaps checking for an early expand, making sure that there is in fact a spawning pool there or something like that. But unit-wise, we do have just kind of the same, so we should see the difference in resources, and we do. And I'm kind of confused and flabbergasted, because it's actually showing that it's favoring DeadZone, but in fact that's not the case. And it shouldn't be the case, rather. But I believe we found the difference, and that difference is an overlord. So there should be a little bit of a difference there. In fact, yeah, maybe not. I don't know what I'm talking about. The important point is DeadZone and lefeu are playing, and they're playing fairly solid and well, both getting speed around the same time. Looks like DeadZone a little bit quicker than lefeu. But Zergling's streaming across the map, hoping to catch his opponent off guard. Zergling's protecting this very large, wide ramp, and hopefully, for DeadZone, he chased away this overlord before he put down the baneling nest. In fact, he did. So, DeadZone going traditional ZvZ, or actually not traditional, but kind of this current trend of baneling busting your opponent. Traditionally, what happened in the beta before roaches got nerfed to oblivion was just a lot of roach play. And we do have the queen trying to do a lot of damage to this overlord. Look at this. It's gonna go down. So that was kind of a big loss for DeadZone. Looks like he said, "Aw," like he was in awe that the queen got him, as opposed to, "Aw, I'm sad that my queen died." But we do see that actually supply blocked DeadZone, and that's a huge deal. Neither player risking the expansion, though. Waiting for speed and then waiting for something else, but it looks like lefeu going to be maybe moving out with a ton of Zerglings. Meanwhile, DeadZone answering with his own, as well as answering with speed, and then the prospects of banelings. It looks like he'll want to start morphing some in right about now, as he is behind on the unit count, but ahead on the tech. And as long as these banelings will be if they're able to come into existence, they'll be able to do a ton of damage to these clumped up Zerglings. Looks like lefeu playing it smart, doing a lot of damage with his micro, making sure that everything's alright. Now these Zerglings are going to be streaming across the map, and lefeu losing a bunch. And looks like very smart. Oh my goodness, that was smart micro on both sides, making sure that no one really got the upper hand there. Now lefeu forced to kind of reconsider his position, and now getting a second gas. His lair is a little bit ahead of DeadZone's, but that is because he is, of course, focusing more on the Baneling play. And now these Zerglings gonna probably take the rest of the game to get these rocks down. But DeadZone moving across the map with a ton of Zerglings waiting for his lair. Still off one gas, only at 31 supply compared to his opponent's 31 supply. Could have had a little bit more, but looks like he's putting down a ton of tech structure at this point, trying to transition out of the very, very, very fragile Zergling force versus, Banelings, which is never the thing. But it looks like I lied, and the Zerglings will get through this set of rocks, but unfortunately have another one to go. And looks like DeadZone preparing, of course, to kind of bust his opponent. Has 9 Banelings here, as well as 16 Zerglings. Looks like those Banelings get a head start as the Zerglings kind of rev up their engines and get ready to go. These Zerglings, of course, it's kind of interesting. These rocks span the entirety of the bridge, but yet can only attack a small portion of the rocks. Oh my! That was the vast majority of lefeu's force. And the Hydra going down, and we do see a ton of Zerglings and now Hydras in production. But this amount of Banelings able to do a ton of damage, especially if he gets into the mineral line. And look at that. Now lefeu only down to 6 drones, I'm sorry, and lefeu calls it. That is game 1 of lefeu versus DeadZone. So we'll be back with game 2 in a little bit. We'll also be back with a map that they're playing on, which I am actually unsure of. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's look forward to game 2 of the ZvZ matchup in the round of 8.